Okay, so now let's talk about the most common mistake customer success leaders make that shortens their careers at startup SaaS companies. It's easy for customer success leaders to get overwhelmed by all of the different things they're asked to do. Associates come to you with customer problems to solve one after another. You're trying to figure out the phantom problems with last week's release that just started for no reason at all. Oh, and by the way, your customers are in queue. And the list goes on and on and on. I get it. I've been there. Where I see customer success leaders struggling most, especially in startups starting to grow and get busy, is that they get bogged down in the tactical day-to-day, and they start thinking that handling customer problems is their primary job. What they need to do is step off of the hamster wheel and step onto the role of primary customer advocate for your company. This is the strategic role your leaders care about and actually need you to step into, but they aren't going to ask you and they won't define it for you. So then people ask me, well, gosh, Dan, how do I do that? So to illustrate how, I'm going to tell the story of Kayla and the CEO. Kayla was the head of customer success at a SaaS B2B company that I recently worked with. When the organization was still an aspiring startup, just starting to get traction, she was tapped to take on the customer success role. Now, it wasn't because she had a background in customer success. It was because she was great with customers and she knew the product well. Well, fast forward a few years and a new CEO comes in and starts to invest aggressively in sales and marketing. And this is pretty common. They invested in the process. They did major keyword buys. They purchased a platform to manage their different channel campaigns. They hired a consultant to streamline the sales team and even a Salesforce analyst to better understand where leads might be dropping out of the funnel. Now, all this investment in infrastructure and data, well, it started to pay off and business was really booming. But where was customer success? Kayla was still solving customer problems reactively, one customer at a time. Her team had grown a little, but only after a few hard-fought battles with the CFO to add staff. But they were bogged down in the hamster wheel created by tactical day-to-day problems. Her solution for managing more customers was hiring more people. Now, that model was not going to scale to match the company's growth. The CEO was concerned, and Kayla's career was not only stalled out, but in danger of getting cut short altogether. What was missing was the broader strategic view of the customer and the actual data needed to be the primary customer advocate at the executive level. Now, in many cases, it would have been too late for Kayla as the company had already outgrown her ability to manage the customer success team. But fortunately for her, it didn't end that way. The CEO hired us to review the customer success function, and we did that through the Predictive Customer Behavior Index assessment process. After a few months of working with Kayla, executives were starting to listen and take action on the now credible data that she presented. Now, this is the challenge most of my customers have: how to get that credible, actionable data and get it fast. During the pre-assessment process, we were able to identify two critical gaps in their customer success capabilities that needed to be fixed before we would even consider doing a full assessment. And those two areas were defining revenue at risk and building an upsell funnel for customer success. The results were exceptional. In 1 quarter, the success team had gone from tactical quicksand to becoming the strategic voice of the customer the company was missing. 97% revenue retention, which was a record at that point. 93% CSAT with the customer success team. 73 net promoter score, unheard of, especially because the managed customers had a lot more complexity, so opportunities for error were much higher. And we had a 40% increase in quarter-over-quarter upsells, a record $1.2 million from implementing the upsell funnel in Salesforce. This is the performance your CEO is interested in because it moves you into a revenue generation mode. But here's the real purpose of the exercise. Kayla was now in a position to be the key customer advocate for her company. The product team was working on 5 of the 6 enhancements requested. They didn't just discover these had been around forever, but they now had actual revenue at risk alongside them, so they couldn't be ignored. Engineers were reaching out to identify customers to speak with regarding certain enhancements, and customer success was moved up in the order and now led off the company-wide sales and marketing meeting. This was something that happened organically after one meeting, and it was because what they had to say was so much more relevant to the company. By Identifying the data that mattered to executives and delivering it in a way that they could take action, Kayla was well on her way to becoming the key customer advocate for her company. And more importantly, people were starting to pay attention. If you are stuck on that tactical hamster wheel, dealing day after day with customer issues, it's very difficult for you to be the primary customer advocate for your customer and for your company. Now, you can continue on that path, but I promise you this one won't get better on its own. The first step is asking for help. I'm Dan Hazing, creator of the Predictive Customer Behavior Index, built specifically for SaaS B2B startups to identify gaps in best-in-class customer success functions and provide a list of prioritized improvement projects custom designed for the size and growth projections of your company. If you need a hand getting out of the quicksand or stepping off that tactical hamster wheel, please reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'm happy to talk through your situation with no obligation and see if I can help. I've helped dozens of leaders get past this hurdle, and I bet I can help you too.